On a quiet Sunday morning in May 2026, 3 sharp knocks struck the screen door.
Who knocks on a Sunday before church?
She set down her coffee and crossed the room, one hand reaching for the brass latch. Through the screen, she glimpsed dark uniforms and a slash of bright white. She pushed open the screen door and froze, her hand still on the latch. On her small porch stood a federal judge in black robes, 2 U.S. Marshals behind him. Beside the judge, 2 tall young black men, one in a Navy lieutenant's dress whites, one in a charcoal suit.
Tyler? Brian? My boy's here.
Without a word, the judge raised a black leather portfolio, a vivid red arrow across its cover. Cynthia gripped the door. Whatever this was, it had already changed everything. 18 years earlier, in March 2008, the phone rang in Cynthia's small Memphis apartment. She answered, expecting a church friend. Instead, a caseworker's voice, tense and official. The woman got straight to it. She had twin newborn boys, barely a week old, born to a mother who used opioids. Both babies were in severe withdrawal, trembling, screaming, vomiting day and night. 4 foster families had already turned them down. The agency had nowhere else to go.
4 families? How can anyone look at a newborn and walk away? How are they now? Are they stable?
The caseworker's reply was blunt. No guarantees, months of intense care. The screaming would test anyone's faith.
I'll take them, both. I'll be there in an hour.
She hung up and sat back, heart hammering. She had just agreed to raise 2 souls the world had already discarded. Within the hour, Cynthia walked through the automatic doors of the NICU, the antiseptic smell hitting her like a wall. She found the twins in separate incubators, wires threading from their tiny bodies, monitors beeping out their fragile heartbeats. Both boys trembled, their small arms jerking, faces pinched in a pain they couldn't escape. A nearby nurse said it flat. They'd been through hell since birth, and the withdrawal wasn't letting up.
I've seen God pull people from worse. These boys aren't finished.
Cynthia approached the first incubator, her heart pounding but her hands steady. She slipped her hands under the smaller twin, lifting him out with the care of someone who'd held many babies.
I will not be the 5th door to close on you.
She cradled him against her chest, feeling his tremors, absorbing his cries. No caseworker or nurse could know it yet, but that baby and his brother had just found home that evening. A state van dropped the twins off at Cynthia's cramped 1-bedroom apartment, with donated formula and a stack of discharge papers. She laid them in the twin cribs she'd pushed together, their small faces still pinched, limbs jerking every few minutes.
Lord, give me the strength for this, just for tonight.
By midnight, the withdrawal hit, both boys screaming in raw, bone-deep pain, vomiting up the formula she'd managed to get down.
Hush now, sweet boy. I am here. I ain't leaving.
She moved between the cribs like a ghost, walking, bouncing, patting, her back aching, her own tears mixing with the sweat on her face.
I can't do this. I am too old. They need more than I can give.
But as the first gray light of dawn crept through the window, the screaming finally softened into exhausted sleep.
You are Isaiah tonight. And you are Josiah. You are mine now, come what may.
She would later change their names to Tyler and Brian, but the covenant was already sealed in that first raw dawn. The withdrawal faded after 6 months, but the first 2 years were still a marathon of colic and croup.
Formula alone eats half my check. How do people do this?
By day, she slung plates at a downtown diner, earning tips and aching feet. By night, she scrubbed office floors until midnight, pushing a mop through silent corridors.
Can't stop now. When you stop, you feel it all.
She drove them in her old sedan to free clinic checkups, the twin car seats crammed in back. A neighbor once offered to watch them so she could sleep. Cynthia thanked her, but said she'd manage.
They're my responsibility. I can't put that on someone else every time it gets hard.
Then came the day they took their first stumbling steps right into her open arms. That was the same night she stared at the ceiling, knowing she could never afford to stop. In 2011, a call from the caseworker brought news Cynthia had dreaded. The boy's birth mother was found dead, an overdose. She glanced at the small framed photo of a young black woman that would one day go on the mantle.
How do I tell two little boys their first mother is gone?
She waited until they were 5, then knelt down with a framed picture of their birth mother.
She loved you very much, but she was sick. Mama Cynthia will always be here now.
The twins didn't cry. They just crawled into her lap and clung there. 2 years later, in a family courtroom, Cynthia stood before a judge as the adoption was finalized. The gavel tapped, and for the first time on paper, they were Tyler and Brian, her legal sons.
All those nights on my knees, and now it's on paper.
That night, she placed the adoption certificate beside the birth mother's photo, then wept, not from sorrow, but from the weight lifted. The year after the adoption, Cynthia started searching for a school that would challenge her boys, not just warehouse them.
Public school is fine, but these boys need more. They deserve a real shot.
She heard about a Catholic scholarship program. The paperwork was thicker than a Sunday hymnal.
4 rejections before they were born. I won't let this door close either.
She filled out every line, got letters from her pastor, and drove them to the interview in hand-me-down suits. In the principal's office, she didn't plead. She told him to give her boys a chance, and they'd prove it. 2 weeks later, the acceptance letter arrived. Full tuition for both. Cynthia held it and cried on the kitchen floor. On their first day, Tyler and Brian climbed the school steps in crisp navy blazers, looking back with gap-toothed smiles.
They look like they belong. Please, God, keep them belonging.
The scholarship didn't cover uniforms, books, or field trips. Cynthia took every extra shift she could, her back screaming by month's end. By high school, the twins had grown into 2 trajectories. Tyler, the linebacker with a copy of the Constitution in his gear bag. Brian, the debate captain who dismantled arguments like a chess master. Cynthia never missed a game. Every Friday night, she sat alone in the top row, her hands clasped like she was in church.
Mama, you don't have to work the early shift tomorrow. I know you are tired.
Boy, I wouldn't miss this for a double shift. Now go celebrate.
Meanwhile, Brian stood before mock trial judges, his voice steady, a future lawyer already speaking in closing arguments.
The law isn't just words. It's a shield for the people who gave us our shot.
Late one night in their junior year, the brothers lay in their shared room, staring at the same ceiling.
I am going to the Naval Academy. I'll get an appointment, and Mama won't have to worry about tuition again.
Full ride to law school. Then we buy her a house, Tyler. We owe her everything.
Just outside the door, Cynthia pressed her palm flat against the wood and didn't let them hear her cry. The spring of their senior year, 2 thick envelopes arrived in the mail, bearing seals that would upend a Memphis kitchen forever. Tyler and Brian slid a finger under each flap at the table where they'd eaten 1,000 of Cynthia's meals.
Naval Academy. Mama, I got in. They're calling me to serve.
Vanderbilt Law. Full scholarship. We did it, just like we promised.
At the sink, Cynthia stopped washing the same dish for a full minute, her back to the boys.
They're leaving. Both of them. And I'll just be here in the quiet, waiting.
She dried her hands on her housecoat, turned, and let the tears run without apology.
Come here, both of you. I need to hold my boys.
They collided in the middle of that small kitchen, the acceptance envelopes crushed between them. That afternoon, Cynthia sat alone with the letters on the table, already feeling the empty nest, but full. In May 2026, the week before the knock, Tyler and Brian stood in the chambers of Judge Hartwell, a man who had watched them rise.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Tyler spoke the oath with a voice that didn't waver, an ensign's commission settling on his shoulders like a second spine. Then Brian stepped forward. The judge held up the same card.
I, Brian, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution.
When both oaths were sealed, Judge Hartwell straightened his robe and studied the two young men before him.
Your Honor, we have one more request. Our mother, Cynthia, she needs to know.
Not through a phone call, not a certificate in the mail. We want you in your robe to go to her house.
The judge listened to the plan. Sealed letters, a federal record, a leather portfolio, a Sunday morning knock. He nodded slowly.
Gentlemen, I'll clear my calendar. On Sunday, I'll bring 2 marshals and a portfolio your mother will never forget.
Over the next 2 days, Judge Hartwell drafted a single paragraph, a note of recognition naming Cynthia and her sacrifice. He pressed the court seal next to his signature, then turned to Tyler and Brian standing beside his desk.
Your Honor, my letter is ready. I wrote it 3 times. Every time I tried to put what she did into words.
Mine too. She never asked for thanks, but the Constitution we swore to protect was first taught at her table.
The judge opened the leather portfolio and slipped both letters inside, next to the court's own recognition note. Then he took the red arrow, a piece of embossed leather, and fixed it across the cover so no one would mistake its purpose. Judge Hartwell contacted the U.S. Marshal's office himself. 2 officers, civilian SUV, 7 o'clock Sunday morning. Tyler and Brian stayed to review the logistics, the drive route, where to park, so Cynthia wouldn't see them early.
She'll be in her housecoat, her coffee cold. She won't suspect a thing until she sees the robes.
Judge Hartwell closed the portfolio with care. The plan was small, private, and permanent, and it would change a woman's Sunday forever. The Sunday morning of the visit, Cynthia woke at 6, as always, the scent of coffee filling the small kitchen.
Sunday quiet is the best quiet. Tyler's probably on deck, Brian prepping a deposition.
She sat with the old photo album, tracing the twins' first day of school pictures. At the page where Tyler wore a too-big blazer and Brian held a toy gavel, she smiled. She hummed a gospel tune as she dusted the mantel, straightening the adoption certificate beside the birth mother's photo.
Lord, you gave me more than I ever prayed for.
Outside, a low engine rumble broke the morning stillness. Not a neighbor, but 2 black SUVs turning onto her street. Cynthia paused, rag in hand, and pulled the lace curtain aside, peering out at the approaching vehicles. They weren't police cruisers. The tinted windows gave nothing away. Her coffee had already gone cold on the table, but something else was heating her neck. The SUVs parked without sirens, their engines idling smooth as a Sunday prayer. The rear door opened, and Tyler stepped out in navy white, then Brian in charcoal, his lapel pin catching the sun. From the other side, a white-haired man in black robes emerged, 2 U.S. Marshals falling in behind him. Cynthia's hand flew to the curtain, her mind refusing the picture in front of her. The judge adjusted his robe, gripping the black portfolio with the red arrow like it was a gavel. A solid knock met the screen door, not frantic but final, the kind that expects an answer. Cynthia's hand found the brass latch, trembling as if the metal were cold as judgment. She pushed it open and saw them, every stitch of their uniforms, every line of the judge's robe.
My boys, and a judge. What have they done?
The judge raised the portfolio. The world on Cynthia's porch narrowed to that red arrow.
Ma'am, I am Judge Hartwell, United States District Court. Your sons asked me to come because they have something to say. This week, they each took a federal oath of office. Tyler as a naval ensign, Brian as a prosecutor's research clerk.
Oaths. But why are you here? What does that mean?
They wanted you to see this portfolio. Inside are sealed letters and a permanent court record in your name.
The red arrow across the leather seemed to pulse in the sunlight, as if demanding she ask the next question.
Mama, there's nothing wrong. We're not in trouble. We wanted you to hear it from the judge himself.
Witness what? My heart's already pounding.
With your permission, I will read from these letters. May we step inside, or perhaps to that bench?
Cynthia looked at her sons, their uniforms making them strangers. but their eyes the same boys she prayed over. She didn't yet understand, but she nodded. A tiny nod that opened the next door of her life. She led them to the wicker bench, her legs unsteady, her housecoat flapping in the morning breeze. She lowered herself into the old wicker, the same chair where she'd rocked them through fevers and nightmares. Without a word, Tyler dropped to one knee, his navy whites pressing into the dusty porch floor. Brian followed, his suit jacket parting, his other knee meeting the boards with a soft, deliberate thud.
What are you doing? Get up, both of you.
No, Mama. We need you to see us like this. This is where we owe to be.
Judge Hartwell stepped forward, the portfolio now open, the red arrow pointing toward the woman in the chair. Behind him, the two U.S. Marshals folded their hands, their shadows long and still against the porch steps. Cynthia's hand rose to her mouth, her eyes fixed on the two envelopes the judge now separated with his fingers. The judge cleared his throat. The reading was about to begin, and Sunday would never be the same.
Mama, you didn't just take us in. You gave us a reason to believe the world wasn't finished with us.
Cynthia's breath caught, her chest rising sharply under the housecoat.
You worked 2 jobs so we could have uniforms. You never missed a game, even when your back screamed.
Tyler kept his head down, but his jaw trembled.
You taught me honor isn't a word. It's getting up at 4 in the morning to scrub floors, so your son can stand here today.
Cynthia's shoulders shook. Her hand couldn't muffle the sound.
I am a Navy officer because of you. Every oath I take stands on your sacrifices. With all my love, Tyler.
The judge lowered the letter. The porch went silent except for the wind and a woman's weeping. Cynthia buried her face in her hands, her housecoat sleeve darkening with tears. Without a word, Judge Hartwell reached for the second envelope. Brian's letter waited, still sealed. Judge Hartwell broke the second seal and unfolded Brian's neat, lawyerly handwriting.
Mama, you never let me forget that justice starts at a kitchen table.
Cynthia looked up through tears, her breath coming in ragged pulls.
You taught me to argue with love, not anger. To stand for the right thing even when it cost you sleep.
Brian's face crumpled. He bit his lip so hard a tiny bead of blood appeared.
I swore an oath this week to the Constitution, but the oath that shaped me was the one you lived.
Cynthia let out a sob that echoed off the porch ceiling, her hand no longer trying to stop it.
I will chase justice from your example all my days. With all my love, Brian.
The judge folded the letter carefully and set it back into the portfolio. For a full 10 seconds, nobody moved. 2 letters. 2 sons, 1 woman who had never asked for a single thank you.
Cynthia, there is one more thing. Beyond the letters, the court has a record to make. I filed a 1-paragraph note into the federal record this morning. It recognizes you as the woman whose care made today's oaths possible.
He pressed the leather-bound copy into her trembling hands, the same document that now lived in the federal court.
This old housecoat, these tired hands, and a federal record with my name on it.
She opened the cover. The first paragraph began. Let it be known that Cynthia, a foster mother of Memphis, raised 2 boys rejected by the world. Her finger traced the words, but she couldn't read. Her vision was too full of water. Behind the judge, the 2 U.S. Marshals nodded once, silent, professional, but present.
I don't know what to say. All I did was what needed doing.
You don't need to say a word. The court record says it for you, and it will remain permanent.
She clutched the leather binder to her chest, and it rose and fell with the sobs she no longer tried to hold. Tyler and Brian rose from their knees and moved to her, their shadows falling over her like wings. They wrapped her up, the leather binder pressed between them, a tangle of white wool, charcoal wool, and worn sage cotton.
Mama, we did it. Because of you. Every single thing.
Every oath we took for you. Every time we stood up, we stood on your shoulders.
You boys, you made me so proud I can't even find the words.
Judge Hartwell and the Marshals withdrew to the far end of the porch, facing the street, offering silent privacy. For several minutes, the three of them just stayed tangled, rocking slightly, murmuring things that had been stored up for years.
This old porch. 2 babies screaming in withdrawal. Now this. Lord, you do work in circles.
The morning sun had climbed high, warming the porch, erasing the shadows into the corners. When she finally pulled back, Cynthia's face was wet, but her eyes were clear. Something old had been healed.
Now, I don't know what all this means for the federal record, but I know a Sunday without dinner is a Sunday wasted. You are all staying.
Ma'am, we don't want to impose. It's been quite a morning.
A judge who came 3 hours in a robe to read letters on my porch is not an imposition. He's a guest. Now, come on.
The marshals exchanged a look and shook their heads. They'd wait in the shade, but the judge followed her inside. Inside, Cynthia tied her apron over her housecoat and pulled out flour, chicken, and greens. Tyler unfolded the extra leaf in the table, while Brian laid out the mismatched plates.
Judge, you can sit yourself at the head. It's not every day I have a robe at my table.
I haven't been called son at a table in 20 years. I'd be honored.
The kitchen filled with the scent of fried chicken and simmering greens, a fragrance that had pulled these boys through childhood. Soon the table held a feast. Cornbread, greens, chicken, and a pitcher of sweet tea. The leather binder rested on the mantel, watching over them. Cynthia bowed her head, and the table followed. She said grace with a voice steady in thanks.
Mrs. Cynthia, I've heard the official record, but tell me, what were they like as boys?
Tyler tried to baptize the cat. Brian read the Constitution and tried to impeach me over bedtime.
The table erupted in laughter. Tyler hid his face. Brian raised his glass in mock toast.
Their hearts were big as this kitchen. They'd give their last biscuit. I just wanted good men.
I've presided over thousands of cases, but this morning is the first time I've seen justice served at a dinner table.
2 hours passed like minutes. The judge pushed back his chair, his robe creased but face relaxed.
I must go. The marshals will think I've been kidnapped by fried chicken. This was an honor, Mrs. Cynthia.
On the porch, the judge shook hands with Tyler and Brian, then placed his hand over Cynthia's. She waved as the SUVs pulled away, flour on her housecoat, heart lighter than in years. The next morning, after the boys had driven away, Cynthia placed the leather binder on the mantel. She ran a dust cloth over it, the red arrow glinting under the living room lamp. The story never made the news. She never told a soul beyond her pastor. Every Sunday after church, she dusted it again, her finger tracing the red arrow. Weeks became months. The leather grew softer, the red arrow never fading. Her hands, the same that once soothed opioid-addicted newborns, now polished a federal order. The binder sat between the adoption decree and the birth mother's photograph, a trio of sacred things. She never discussed the morning the judge came. It belonged to her and those 2 boys, and every time she walked by, she'd straighten it. A private ritual, a federal record, a mother's love, and a dust cloth every week. That was enough.